Okay, so there are a few members who has, I mean, for them today is the first class. So let me talk about something that we last two sessions we talk about the Appian, what Appian technology is, how it works, and what's the market positioning for the Appian right now, and what are the objects type it uses, what kind of application we create in Appian. These all discussions we did. Nothing in technical, just the overview like how the Appian works and all. Before we start today, I was supposed to start the technical things like starting from the variables. How do we use the variables and all? So before I start those things, anyone has any questions? If you want to know anything about like any, it was your first class, right? So do you know want to know anything, or shall we start with this?
Yeah, it's hi Ravi. So just want to make sure that are you going to take any screenshots on daily basis
It
or
will be
just
completely recording, so recordings will be shared with you.
okay?
Yeah. Session will be recorded, and that recorded
Yeah,
will be shared with you. Yeah.
I have one doubt.
Mhm.
Yeah, Ravi, I see your previous video.
Mhm.
When you click the grade buttons, there is a cloud database is showing. But I
Right.
am complete the installation part. But when I
Mhm.
click the grid part, there is no cloud database.
Okay. The reason behind is because you might have not completed the survey. There are few questions they ask. Okay. That how do you come to know about Appian? Do you have any experience in Appian? What kind of um, experience you have? Such there are few questions. Once you answer those questions, you will be able to access your cloud database and everything. So right,
Yeah. I complete this part.
is it okay? Okay, we can check that offline. I think you should be able to do that. Yeah, let me see. Okay. All right. How about any other questions?
So yeah, so once the because this is a cloud based, right? It's not on premise to install on the
Right.
personal system. So we're
Right.
going to do it from the scratch, right?
Yes, we are going to learn everything from the scratch for the basic Appian terminology, right? And as few members are there, so let me clear one more thing that we will not be touching the AI part, robotic process automations. Those all are the separate topics. AI skills, so those are the separate topics. So we won't be touching those. We will be learning the core Appian development, like how to build an application, from the scratch,
Okay.
not the
Also, so
AI skills. Yeah.
today are like I haven't received any course structure, course content for this class.
Okay. We'll ask to share with you. I mean, it's there. They can share with you. I think do you have Srita in the call? Uh, okay, I'll ask the team to share with you all the course content. See, I should have a copy of it. In that case, I can share it right now, and we can share a copy with you all. All right, yeah, I do have a copy. Let me share with that. I'll share right now. Can you guys see my screen?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
visible.
So yeah, I mean, we'll be talking about the introduction of Appian that we did, kind of things, just overview of what is the new stats and all these tabs that we have. We will be creating the application, the life cycle, what the application is and how it works, designing objects. We will be touching the application constant, data store, all those object that is required for the your basic development. All these objects like how do we create the group management and everything, and we will be designing the interface. This CDT custom data type is now you can see that in Appian they don't allow you to create the CDTs and all right, but we have our old videos well in defining very in details, right? So you can go through that. If you have any questions, we can definitely talk on that. Um, So this we have right now. Appian is recommending to use the record type instead of CDTs all the places. So many companies are now they're changing their CD to. It's not like it's not useful. CDT is still many companies are there. I mean, a lot of companies are there who's using CDTs, but Appian is now recommending that either you start making it slowly towards record type, and for the new application, please go with the record type. Do not create a CDTs because as compared to the CDTs, the record is very faster. And then all the records type actions. There are a few more topics that we will be adding, like record relationships, synchronizations. All those things are there. Whatever the newly thing has been added here, and yeah, I mean all the functions that we will be using. A lot of functions are there, right? But mostly that functions we use the most, we will definitely discussing in details. All the cell components, what kind of layouts we have, how do you design your UIs, all those we'll see in the depth. Process modeling, workflows, some smart services that we use in the process models and all. We will see all those things like sending an email, generating the document, sending the data to the database, and then such kind of things we will do it. We will use the gateways to divert the workflows. What concept of the sub processes, synchronization or synchronization, sorry, data management policies and all right. We will also talking about the APIs. How do you expose your API to the third party? We will also talk about the integrations, connected systems, and this admin consoles. Now Appian has disabled it. We cannot talk about this. I just need to update this one. But yeah, this was old one where we used to describe about the admin consoles, but now it has been disabled. But we can talk about it. What can be done here? There are a few more topics is not added here. We'll add this like deployment. How do you deployment? We cannot show you the deployment process because again that is disabled. But we will talk about it. We can share the screenshots, the deployment process. How do we do it? And we will also talk about the maintenance, like how do you do analysis of any process broken, right? How do you solve those problems? We will talk about them. So I have the old copy. We'll ask them to share the new copy with you all, and then yeah, any questions so far, guys? So basically, this Appian, all other things, right? Appian AI skills, robotic process automations will be required once you know the Appian, right? So that this is the basic concept, the old school Appian things. How do you actually do the development, and all other parts are like enhancement of some additional things added to the Appian that we can learn later on, right? Any questions? All right. Okay, so yesterday we talked about something. We mentioned someone has mentioned that we can go with the vendor management system as a POC. So that's the use case, right? If anyone, are you going to stick with that, or anyone wants to have another use case in their mind? Okay, I mean we have time for that. We can do that later as well. But yeah, if you have anything in your mind, do let me know. We can go with that use case, or it's kind of all will be like kind of similar kind of object. I mean, we will be using similar kind of objects, right? So if you want, you can continue whatever we are discussing here, or what if you want, you can uh, create some other use case for your learning purpose at your home, right? So that depends. I would suggest create your own application so that you can understand, you can come up with some new criterias, new requirements and all, right? So whatever you learn here, try to implement in your application. So in that way, you will be ending up having two applications with you, one with the training, one with your own yourself, right? If you have any questions, I can, help in that. Okay, shall we start? Okay. So let's say we are going to create our application. This is the design view. I just give me 1 more minute that I can walk through everyone. So in basically Appian, we have multiple suites. The different suites is for different purposes. This is the suite design, which is for developers where they can go and do the developments and all, right. But we also have a similar kind of suite. I mean, another suite for end users, and that is called Tempo. So Tempo is for the basic users where they can go and work with their applications. This is the old approach, but now we are using a sites, the front end thing. This is the default front end that given by the Appian. You can also create a site for your applications and you can use that. And then that other source we have is called, here you can get admin console at top here, but in this community edition, they are not giving the admin console. And you can also have the cloud database. If you click on this cloud database, you can see the database which comes inbuilt with the Appian, where we can go and create the tables. All right. So we need to work with this design shoot where we go actually do the development, and now we are going to start the new developments, the new application, and one environment can have multiple applications. You see all these things, these are nothing but the applications that we have in our environment. There are 11 applications right now. So we are going to create one more applications. And why do we create an application? It's to have all those objects, under one package. So how do we create a new application? Click on the new application link here, give the name as we discussed about the vendor management system, right? Now, whenever you give a name of your application, right, what Appian try to do is take the prefix of it, and prefix it will take the first character of each word. So VMS is going to be prefix. In case this prefix is not available or being used by some other application, you will get a notification that, hey, this is being used by some other application, can you use some other prefix? Now, why prefix is important? Anyone can tell me? Any idea what is the prefix and what do we need?
To use the same thing.
Yeah.
So all the objects will be created with the this prefix. So it is easy to identify which object is being used for which project.
Right, that's correct. So whatever object we will be creating in our application, right? Any expression rule or any interface, any record, anything that will start with this particular prefix. Now, why this is important? You may have employee record in your application. Maybe let's say you are having customer onboarding. There you might be creating a record for name of employee. In vendor management system also, I might be creating the record called employee. If both the names are employee, how do I decide that which one is for our application? So there the prefix comes into the picture and let you know that, okay, this particular employee record is for your application, right? So prefix is very important to identify your object clearly, that this object belongs to which application. Okay. You can give the good description to onboard. Now you can see there is a checkbox which is by default checked. So it says generate groups and folders to secure and organize objects. Now what does it mean? It means that when you create this application and when you go with this checkbox checked, Appian will create certain objects for you by default that you will be creating it in case you don't check this checkbox. So you will be ending up creating it by yourself, and because which is very required thing, very mandatory things. I won't say mandatory, but kind of required thing if you're creating a new application. Not all the time. So Appian says that, hey, why not I give you an option to Appian to create this object apart from you. So what happens if you don't check the checkbox? That none of the objects will be get created inside the application. But if you go with this checkbox, there are around 7 objects Appian will create for you, which will be helpful for you. You do not have to create by yourself. I'm going with the checkbox checked and I hit on the create button. Now, once I hit the create button, Appian is also creating few objects inside that, and it's creating some application things. So you see this, it has created 2 objects, VMS administrator 7 and VMS user 7. Why 7? Because there's a possibility that someone has already used VMS, but we do not have access of it, right? So that's the reason we are not able to see. That's the number is adding up here. Now, other thing is that, go ahead, Amita, please.
Yes, sorry to interrupt. I'm getting some error when I tried to hit the create button.
Oh, what kind of error you are getting?
It says it's telling me that I should uncheck that checkbox. It's saying
Are you using your existing application or it's a new you're creating it?
I guess I was just creating new. It says basic users must have viewer rights to view a published
Ah,
application's feeds, actions
right,
at
right. You are
runtime.
using your company's profile?
I'm just using whatever profile I created. I'm not sure.
Oh,
I don't know.
I was also getting the same error. I tried again and it started working.
Oh, okay. Did you hit the save button?
can you try to refresh and then try to create again? I mean, it should not be because see, we are kind of a basic user, but what Appian does is that they do not give us the system administrator role. They assign us the basic user role, and along with that, they also give us the designer role. So that's the reason we are not able to see the admin console and all, right? So just try to refresh.
Oh,
You should be getting it.
okay. Okay. Thank you.
Um, all right. So yeah, shall I continue? Any more questions?
Yeah, thank you.
So you see this, they have created two groups internally, VMS administrators and VMS users, right? But it assigns some numbers because there's a possibility that someone has already created with this name. Okay, once we hit the save button, you will come inside your application window where you can see your application overview. The important thing that for us is called build. Once you get inside the build, you will see that there are 7 objects that have been created, is like 2 groups, 1 process model folder, 2 document folders, 1 knowledge center, and 1 rule folder. Okay. When you guys will try, just do one more thing. Whenever you create an application, right? Whenever you get and practice environment, you will also be assigned one work ID to you. So in my case, I have my work ID W0221. They will assign to you. So whenever you create your application, use that work ID in your prefix, along with this prefix. So let's say I'm gonna say properties. My work ID is W0221 underscore VMS. So what happens is that now, when you create, you won't get these numbers in your objects. It will be easy to track because it will be very unique. Okay. So now when I start creating new objects, it will be starting from this W0221. Okay. There are a few objects which allows to rename this. Let me see if we can. Yeah. Let me see if I can rename this to W0221 underscore VMS artifacts. Save. Yeah, you see, you can also rename it. I'm gonna rename the others as well. All properties we can put here W0221 underscore. So while creating the application, make sure you put your work ID. Okay, that's it. All right.
So I have one question. I might have missed the part, but how do you get the work ID? Is it something you create or is it?
No, we don't create it. It gets assigned to you. So you will be able to see that work ID once you click the navigation icon, right? Mouse over to the cloud database. There you can see your work ID. That's the one place. And I think on the home page also it displays somewhere work ID. See that. But yeah, that's the one place. I'll see what other place you can see that there.
Got it. Thank you.
Let me just rename it so we don't get the numbers all the place time. All right.
Where was that you had your mouse over that said cloud database that had the work ID?
On the navigation icon here, the small square you can see, right? The 9 small
Yeah, I
squares.
see that square, but I didn't have that option when I hovered
Oh,
over it.
okay. So you guys need to complete this survey thing, to get that.
Oh, okay.
Initially, they don't give it, but later on, once you complete the survey, or maybe in some time, they will assign, the thing. Remove the 7 from other places. Let me check that. I think we should be getting it. One second. Seven. Can anyone, someone is getting that option, right? Of cloud database?
Even I don't see it in my designer.
I am
Okay.
also not sure.
I'm able to see it.
There is no cloud database.
I mean, there is survey, right? When you complete that survey 100%, right, you see that option. Let me see. Let me give me 1 more minute. Let me see if I can have that. Okay, before we start, we need to get that done. Yeah. So when you guys log in, right, do you get this survey option?
Yeah, I'm fine. So what is the reason?
I think you are not sharing your screen.
Let me share again. Do you get this page? Let me see with you. Try to go to this page. And there you must see an Appian designer. Click on that, see what you get. Once not, then we will start clicking on here, build your first app.
I don't have that page.
No, you must be using US community, right? It's
Not,
India.
it's not letting me go into any community. It's saying that it's like under maintenance when I try to select US. Not sure.
So on the top right, you see those nine dots, right? You
Yeah.
can click there and you will get the option of deselecting the designer.
Yeah, I selected that, but I don't have that page that Sarah is displaying.
So Ravi, after selecting the designer, I'm getting the initial page where we can see all the sample projects created by Appian,
Yeah,
including the
Right.
one that I had created just now.
Right.
same here.
Right. But don't you see the Appian Cloud Database?
Unfortunately, no.
So do you see this page?
This was the page that I saw yesterday, but now that I
Right.
have clicked on build your first app, so
Hmm.
this is not coming again.
No, can you just try with this URL that I shared right now? Site and then home. I have given in the chat.
So clicking this link takes me to the page where it says your region is in maintenance.
Okay. And do you have an option to change your region?
No, I cannot click those things.
We click on the access environment. This is the page you are getting, right? Do you see this option? Go to your region.
No. Can I share my screen?
But make sure when you because I have to make the host to you, okay? And then when you reshare, I mean, you need to make me host back again. Don't close it, otherwise the meeting gets closed. Right. Let me make host. Yeah. There you go. You can share now.
Just give me a minute. So
Okay,
this is the page that I get when I click the link, and I cannot click any of these things. It's simply not enabled.
Oh, okay.
And top right, where did it go? Top right, I see this button, but no option of the cloud database.
Side. Yeah. So that comes, when you complete the survey.
Can you give me the link to the survey if it's not visible?
No, that will come once you click. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, even I have received this email that is going to be maintenance window. No, but it says January 31st. Okay. Let me see if I see the survey link. No, it because I have completed the survey, right? So it is taking me directly to the designer. No, I have completed the survey, right? So that's the reason it is taking me to the designer directly. But we can check that, okay?
Is there a way we can raise a ticket to Appian support?
Yeah, I mean, there's a support link, right? You can do that. On the designer page itself, on your right-hand side, you can see there's a community discuss, learn, success, support.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'll try to find the answer, maybe. Not kidding. Yeah, I'm not sure. Cloud database option is not available now. Now that's the problem because you must see that otherwise when you start creating the record, there you need to see one more option from create the table from the scratch. So that option will also not be coming up, will not come if you don't have that access. Okay, maybe let the when maintenance window done, then we can try one more time. Right now it's not coming up.
Yeah, it's working now. I think Sarah went through from community edition. There is a practice, and from there it meet with the app designer. This is a URL.
Can you share that? That one this is the URL that I have shared, right? The home one. This is the US instance that you are sharing. Okay. Yeah, it will come, guys, and not now, but later on it will definitely come. Sometimes it also take time to set up your environment, right, for database. So it will come. No need to worry. Okay. All right. Shall we continue? Now it's only 15 minutes left for how do I start? Okay. Anyways, let me keep sharing. We'll talk about something today, at least variables and all. All right. So what is a variable? Who can answer that? Come on, guys. What is a variable?
So a variable is something that
Variable is
holds
nothing but
the
used
value,
to store the value.
and it can be used anywhere in the in your project based on the scope and everything.
Right. Okay. So there should be some type of it, right? So what are the primitive type of variables we have? Do you know primitive data types?
Integer, string, boolean.
Right. Yeah. So you need to define the variables type, right, to understand the system that this is a particular type of variable. But in Appian, we have multiple types of variables. One of the variables that we learned initially right now is called local variables. When I say local variables, what does it mean is that it will be locally available and cannot be used outside of it, right? So we have something called as a local variable, and in Appian, you do not have to define the type of a local variable. Let me create some expression role. I'm going to create some expression roles, and I'm gonna give the name as, see that the expression role name is taking is my work ID underscore VMS because I have changed my prefix. I say some test role 1. All right. So if you want to declare any variable in Appian, you need to use a function called local variable. And now every functions that we use to declare a variable or to declare some interface layouts and all, right, we use a prefix here, and that prefix is called people functions. For all the people functions that we have, the prefix is called a bang. This is in Appian we used to call it the bang, the exclamatory notation. Oh, sorry, the exclamatory notation, right? We call it the bang. So a bang. And if you don't remember, you don't have to worry about it, because if you start typing the function name, it will automatically come. So just start typing the functions to declare the variables. And to declare the variable, we need a function called local variable. Just step out, it will take everything. If it's very small, then is it clearly visible now? Right? So a bang local variables. This is a function which is used, which allows you to declare the variables. Now, if anyone is having more experience here, right, like 10 years of experience or 12 years of experience, and in interview, if you are saying that, hey, I was working with Appian like maybe 5 years or 6 years, they might ask you this tricky question that what was the initial function to declare the variable you have used initially. In that case, you need to say that there was two other functions, load and width, to declare the variables, but now Appian has come up with the new function to combine both as a local variable, right? To make sure if you are saying that you have lots of experience in Appian, then you need to mention, they may ask you some questions to know that you really have those experience or not. So initially it was had two functions, load and width. Load was used to declare the constant. It cannot be changed automatically. It will be changed only upon the save into click. And width was like changing automatically whenever interface refreshes. Okay. So that now that Appian has removed, and they have come up with the one function called local variables. So local variable is not used to declare the variables. Now to declare a variable, we use
Ravi,
this function.
quick question. So
Yeah.
suppose the earlier teams or in the earlier projects they had used this save and
Load and width.
load and width. Right
Mhm.
now that Appian has blocked it or is no more
No,
allowing it.
they have not blocked it, but they have said that it will still be working. It's not
Okay.
like it won't work, but yeah, you slowly
Okay.
start moving towards the local variables. That's what Appian does. If any function is getting deprecated, it's not like it stopped working. You can still work it with this, but later on they will stop providing you the service on that, and
Okay.
it will start creating some issues like with what do you say that
Okay.
latency issues and all, right? So all those things you will see that, but yeah.
So no one has to convert it. I mean, convert that function everywhere where they have written it. It's not like that. Are you saying?
No, they do not have to. But let's say if you are working on that interface, and you got some issues, you might get some enhancement on that, and by that time you just change it.
Okay.
So start slowly changing it. Not at a time, but start slowly changing it every. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. Right. So now this is the local variable function, and inside this, you see this is the parenthesis is getting here, and it has a particular area for it. Now, to define declare a variable, we use a prefix called local bank because it's a local variable. So we need to say local bank and the name of the variable. Let's say I'm going to say variable X. You can do anything you can put. So var X, this is one variable I have declared. Same way, if you want to declare local bank, let's say var Y. This is another variable we have declared. You cannot have them with the same name. If you say the same name, it will break. It will say that when you run this, it will say it's already declared. Okay. If you click on test tool, you see duplicate variable names found. Okay. So you cannot have a duplicate variable name inside your local. So you should be init. Okay. Now we have declared the variable. Now how do I initialize with any value? If you want to initialize with any value, we need a property called colon. This is in Java, I think we use equal operator and somewhere other something else, but here we use the colon to assign any value to this. Let's say I'm going to assign value 10 to this. Okay. Now my local variable will start treating as a number integer. We have not defined the type of it, but let's see if I'm going to return, I'm going to return local bank X, right? You see it says number integer. Same way, if I'm going to assign some name to this and to assign the name of some character, if you want to assign some text to this, right, you need to use the double quotes. And let's say I'm going to say Ram. And now I would like to return variable Y. And if I click on the text tool, I got this as a text. So you do not have to define the type of the local variable. It will automatically understand what kind of variable it is. Is that clear? Any questions so far?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just trying to figure out how to get to this page that you're on from the design.
So once you create your application, right?
Yeah.
Inside that you go to the new, and then you create a new expression rule. Give
New
some
expression.
test name. Yeah. So give some test
Okay.
name to this one. And once you give the test name, and it will open a window where we can do all the things. So what is an expression rule? Let me first tell you that. We have discussed this in the last classes. So expression rule is a kind of an object, as a kind of a calculator, I would say, or you may be you think about it as a blank window where you can put your own code to perform a set of tasks. if you want to do calculation, if you want to make some rule to bring some data query, if you want to work with some of your data, from a set of data, if you want to fetch some particular part of it, if you want to find any substring, any kind of activity, any kind of task which can help you to fulfill your requirement, right? You can use an expression rule. It's kind of a supportive rule for everything. You can do it. You can create an expression rule. Let's say if you want to do some addition of it, and then you want to reuse it, you can also use this expression rule as a function. So this expression rule allows you to perform a set of tasks or some calculations, whatever you want to achieve in your requirement. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, so this is two variables I have declared, x and y. I given x as assigned with the 10 and y assigned as a RAM. It says x is an integer type, RAM, and y is a text type. Now, if I would like to combine my text in one string, as a one sentence, let's say I would like to say RAM age is 10, right? How do I do that? So let's say I have this RAM age is 10. Anyone, any idea how do we do that?
So we can use the ampersand operator to concatenate along
Right.
with the double quotes. Yeah.
Right. So there are two things in Appian. Even if there you want to use, if you want to use if you want to concate the things, you can use ampersand symbol, or you can use a function called concat itself. So let's see both of them. So I say local var y, but the name, so the RAM is assigned to the local var y, right? So I use the local var y. Now you tell me what I need to do. My output is RAM age is 10. So I got the RAM. Now what else I need to do?
Space ampersand in double quotes. Age is.
I put a space and then age is, and then
space,
again space, right?
Ampersand and local.
Again ampersand, local var x now, right? X. Now once we do this, so we are trying to concat these two variables in one, and if you try to run this, you say that RAM age is 10. Okay. Now instead of this ampersand, if you don't want to use the ampersand, you can also use the function called concat. So what I want to concat, I want to concat local bang var y, comma, space is colon space, comma, local bang var x. So now if you try to run this one, you will still get the same thing. So if you want, you can make use of ampersand symbol, or if you want, you can make use of concat function. Okay, both are allowed in Appian. Questions? All right. Now, as this said that local variables meaning is that this is a local, it will be available to a locally. It cannot be used outside. Now, let's say inside this, I'm gonna remove this for now. Inside this, I'm gonna declare one more variable, local variable function, local variable. And here I'm gonna define local bang, let's say Z, and I'm gonna take some local bang. Oh, come on, var Z. I'm going to say 20 to this. Okay. Now here I'm going to say that local bang var x plus local bang var z. I'm going to return. That's the return statement because I'm not declaring anything, right? Now if I try to run this rule, what do I get? I got the 30. Now inside this is a local variable, one another set of a local variable, right? I would like to use the same statement here. Will I get the same output?
May not.
Can you guess why?
The scope of where Z is not defined.
Right. And why it is that? Because local var z is declared inside this local variable, so it cannot be used outside of it because it's a locally to this function. And that's why we are not able to access this. However, X was available inside this. Why? Because this local variable function itself was part of this one, right? So we were able to access X here inside this, but this Z we are not able to access outside because this was declared here. Is that clear? This is very important to understand, right? So local var Z is not available outside of this parenthesis because it was declared inside this local variable function. So it is available only inside this string. Is that clear, everyone? Yes, no, not applicable. Now, if I want to use this local Z, let's say I'm going to return this local Z here, right? I'm just returning this, and this one I'm going to have local bang or get var Z. Okay, this is the new variable I declare, and I put a colon here, and this local variable I made as an input of this one. Just like the assigning like this, you see, now you can get it, right? So this local variable is the whole set of code I made as an initialization of local get var Z. Now instead of this var Z, if I try to use get var Z, now what do I get? I'll get 30 again. So there's a workaround that we can do. Anyone is having trouble understanding this code, please tell me. So we were not able to access this directly, but what we did, I returned the value. What happened? Okay, you will be able to understand. Let's say if I'm going to say like this plus 10. Now if I click on test tool, what do I get? Am I audible?
30 again.
No. So what is the output of this is going to be? This kind of code up to whatever I have highlighted. 30. So your get var Z will have what value? What is the value it is going to hold?
50. It holds
30,
30.
right? It will hold the 30. And now we are saying var X plus get var Z. So the output will be 40. Right? So what we are doing is that we are taking a set of code, we are assigning some, returning some value, and that value we are assigning back to the get var Z, right? It's kind of, think about this is kind of a function which we are calling to do some addition and calculation and then return that value to my get var Z and we do that calculation, right? See, there few people might be thinking why we are learning all these things, but believe me, these are the very important. Any core development for any other language, any other tool is important. So please be interactive, please get in discussion and try to understand what we are doing. And if possible, please do respond. Okay. So is that clear? Any doubt here? So there's a way that we can still access this local variable, but we have to do some work around, right? We have to assign the whole collection to someone and then we get it. Clear?
Hi,
Yeah.
can you just, thank you, yes. Could you just possibly just clarify one more time, just with this example, like what it's trying to do, like the goal of it?
So we are trying to, as we said, right, that local variables, if you declare any local variables, that local variable will be available within the scope. What is the scope? Within the functions parameterize that you have defined, this parenthesis, right? Inside this only you can access a local variable if you have declared. So you see the local var X I declared here, it was available all the places. But now inside this is another local variable function that we have used. And if you try to declare this local variable function inside this and try to access it directly outside of this parenthesis, you cannot do that because it will say it is improperly scoped. This one. Let me copy this, put it here. You see, it says that improperly scoped variable. Why it is saying that improperly scoped variables? Because this particular piece of code is not able to find this variable inside this parenthesis, because it is defined inside this local variable, and hence this is available only inside this particular parenthesis. Like, okay, let me give some real-time example. Let me know if it is here. Okay, so we have grandparents, we have parents, and the grandparents, their child, and the grandchild, right? Now your grandparent has the property of 100 acres, which is accessible by both their child and their grandchild, because it's their I'm talking about in India concept, okay? Don't go in the US concept. So yeah, so your grandchild and their child can access their property, right? Because it's like coming from the hierarchy. Okay, it's a grandparent, so it can be accessible by both of them, right? Now, in case the grandchild has bought some particular land, right? It belongs to them. It cannot be accessible by this, and oh no, this is my land, I have bought this, right? The same way, this particular local variable function says that this local var z that I have declared, it can be used only inside this parenthesis and cannot be accessible outside of it, right? But what it does return something. If I try to run this code, let me control. If I try to just run this code, it does return something, right? It is returning 30. So the whole set of code is returning something, right? So the output of this piece of code is what? 30, right? This 20 plus 10, 30. And that 30 we are assigning to what? A new variable, get var z, right? Now if you see here, your var z is having the value 10 assigned to it, right? Now this get var z is having the value 30, and how it is coming up? It is coming up through this calculation. Okay, and hence the value of this is 10 and this is 30, and hence we are returning this as calculation as 40. Is that clear now?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So make sure any local variable, if you have declared, that will be available only inside the parenthesis of that local variable function. If you want to use it, you either you will have to pass to someone, right? And we can pass it by assigning it to some other variables, some other global variables, or we can pass it by initializing it some other variables as well. So we'll talk about the global later. Let's understand this local variable now. So this is the local variable concept that we can have it. We do not have to declare the type of it. It will automatically understand what kind of variable it has. Okay, so these are the some single values that we have assigned. We can also assign kind of arrays of it. So let's say I'm going to declare one more variable called local bang ARR1. So, and I'm going to have 4, 3, 6, 7, 8, 1. Right. This is my array. If you want to declare any array, you need to use the curly parenthesis. So curly parenthesis is used to declare the arrays in Appian. Now I would like to return this. So if you want to return something, just say local bang array1. Right. And if I click on test rule, I get my output. Okay. And it says list of number integer. So we haven't defined anywhere the type, what kind of type it should be. It understand that, okay, you have assigned this list of number, then it's a list of number. let's say I'm gonna assign some array 2, then I'm gonna define A, comma, B, comma, C. And if I try to return my local array 2, it will say list of text string, right? Now, let's say I have another array called local bang array 3, and I have 1, comma, 2, comma, A, comma, B. And if I try to return my local array 3, what do I get in output? Missing the comma. Yes, yeah. Anyone? What output I will get? I'll still get 1, comma, 2, comma, A, comma, B, but it's a list of variant because it's not of one same type, it's a different variant type. So that's a list of variants. Clear? You can also declare a local variable of type of a map. Maybe, I'll say that the key value pair. Let's say I want to have ID is 1, name is Ram, and let's say age is 25, whatever, right? Now, if I try to return this local bang array 4, click on the test rule, you see, it says dictionary. So we can also define a variable, the type of dictionary, where you can have it. Can we use the dictionary of dictionary? Yes, let's try that. So if you want to declare a dictionary of dictionary, we can have it something like this. Let's say local variable array 5, put the curly braces, hit enter, another curly braces, and then we can have this information. Let's say I want to copy this. This is one set of information, and then ID 2, Mohan. Let me format it. Okay. Now, if I try to return local bang array 5, I would say I get list of dictionaries, 2 items. One is this, second is this.
So, question here. So the
Yeah.
array you are defining inside that, so it's like a static. But what about if it is dynamic? If there are 100 records or 1,000 records?
Right. So that will come in your variable, right? From wherever you are calling it, maybe from query or maybe somewhere else, right? So it will be part of your query. So you'll get that. Yeah, we'll see that. So whenever you make a query, right, you can assign to that output of that query to a variable, and you can work with that. Now let's say I would like to know the name of this array 5. So if I say dot name, local array 5 dot name, what do I get in my output? If I click on test tool now, what do I get?
Maybe some error.
Okay.
It's a variable name. So RFI it's going to give ARR5.
What is ARR5 represents?
It's a dictionary.
It's a dictionary. And in dictionary, we have 3 parameters, ID, name, and age. So if I say local ARR5 dot name, I got the names that we have in my dictionary. If I say age, then what do I get? Is that clear? You can also access a property of a dictionary by using the dot operator. Okay.
Let's say if you want to print only RAM, so is it like bracket 0 or something?
In Appian, very good question. In Appian, the index does not start from 0. It starts from the 1. So in case if we want to use only RAM, you have to say here in the parentheses 1. So array 5, first index and dot name. Okay.
Sure.
There is a one disclaimer. Everywhere in Appian, you will start the index from 1. Only one place in Appian where it starts from the 0. We'll talk about that when we use it. Keep in mind, there's only one place where we Appian index start from the 0, but every other places it start from the 1. Okay. So if you want to say get the name of the second, you can just need to mention it as 2, and then you will see that. Come on, let's see. Okay. All right. So I'll stop here. Let's do the practice. See if you can get your cloud optional or not. Otherwise, meanwhile, you can do all this stuff, right? So create an expression rule, do some variable declaration, assign some value, play around with it, see how do you it works, what's the output, break the code, see the errors, understand the errors and all right, and come up with your questions. Any question before we wrap up for today? So this is as important as any other steps, UI designing or process modeling workflow. This is also very important. This will clear your thought and concept of using the variables and all right. So please do not ignore this.
Yeah, I have a question. So
Yeah.
as part of this course, at the end, we are going to cover at least one proper application .NET. That application is going to have different stages, process model, and
Right.
object creation.
Right. So this vendor management system that we have think of, right? We will end up with having one application which can onboard our vendors.
Yeah. So this Appian can also handle multiple applications, and within the application also we can have multiple case types, right?
Right. Yeah, you can. Yeah. So I mean, in the vendor management, right? We can have multiple things. We can have onboarding of the vendor details, and then we can also see if we want to place any order for the particular vendors. That is also done. So first of all, we can onboard the vendors, and then we can see if we want to place any vendors, any order for a particular vendor, we can select that vendor, right? So two things will be there: onboarding the vendors and placing order to a particular vendors.
Okay.
All right.
So, and other places like different from Pega or any other technology, if we have multiple applications, so framework on top of implementation application .NET. So in Appian also we're going to implement like that. So there is a Appian framework, and we're going to do our own framework or implementation.
No, not like that. No. It's a one application. Inside the application, you can have multiple sections, and we can define security wise, like who can access multiple sections, but not the framework wise. Yeah, it's a one application.
Okay. Like if we are going to have services, so if organization wants to use for other purpose, so one application they can develop for integration purpose with all services, and they can share it with other frameworks.
Right. So that's a shared application. Let's say, suppose there is one. You're creating one application, right, for onboarding a particular customer. What you can do is that you can create that application as the center of application, right, and then everyone can use it as a framework. That what I also need onboarding a customer feature, I can access that. So in that case, that application can be used by multiple. So you can secure this application accordingly. So everyone can go and use this particular thing, and you can access the page and then onboard the customers. So you have to design that table accordingly, right? Because let's say we have a customer table, and in that customer table, we also have to maintain one column for line of business, maybe, right? So this particular customer belongs to which line of business? Let's say I have from insurance, I have another one is from maybe HR process, right? So they are using the same application. They need to define whenever you create a customer for insurance, in the line of business, you have to maintain as a this is the insurance LOB. Same way, if HR is going to onboard any particular employee, they need to mention it's a HR LOB, right? So yes, that is also done, and that is also possible, and that many people also does that, like center of or center application, which can be used by anyone. Right? Sorry for that. Okay, yeah. All right, guys. Any other questions?
Yeah, do you have the session tomorrow?
Saturday? Friday? Oh, Saturday, right? No. Sorry.
Okay.
Enjoy your weekend, guys.
Thank you, you too.
All right, guys. If no questions, then happy weekends. Let's connect on Monday. We can continue our discussion there. There are a few more variables we need to understand. There are a few functions we need to understand before we actually start the development. So we'll talk about all those things. Okay.